Do you know that the instructions for mastering life are not the private property of mankind? I mean, the same laws that govern our rising, our growth, and when disobeyed lead to our decay. These same laws are braided into the fabric of nature. Nature is not a mute spectator on earth. No, nature speaks. And when you gaze at plants, when you study the ocean, when you examine the animals, and you can understand these things, you are not just admiring nature, you are attending the University of Wisdom. Why? Because the principles of wisdom are woven into the green grammar of nature. Pay attention, because what I'm about to give you in this video is not something you can do before. Life is not a riddle designed to torment you. Life is a manual. It takes for your understanding to be quickened before you be able to read it, because this manual is not written in English or Hebrew or Latin alone. This manual is also written in nature, and unfortunately people don't even care to learn how to read it. They just go to the bottom of the terms and condition of life and think accepted without knowing jack about what they are doing. I want you to settle me for a fact right now that the word of men, the word of animals, the word of plants, all are governed by one wisdom expressed in many dialects. You know that the more you learn, the more you discover that the universe behaves as though it already knows what you are trying to learn. Now let me answer the first question. Why does the same principle that make men thrive also make nature flourish? Why? It is because the same intelligence crafted everything, and believe me, the designer did not contradict himself. He imprinted the same pattern for success across all creation, that whoever study this pattern may learn, and anybody who learns it may rise. Creation may speak in many tongues, but the language is one. It is the language of wisdom. When you study nature, you are not only observing what is there, you are eavesdropping on the conversation between God and his creation. Have you ever wondered why nature, although wounded by our hands, still succeed in quiet victory, but we mankind, although crowned with intellect, we are still groaning under the weight of our own confusion? It is because nature was created fluent in the language of wisdom by default. Nature does not argue with the principles of wisdom, they just obey it. But then we mankind, because of the power of choice that we were given at creation, we must choose to learn these same principles first, and then stretch, bend and bleed to walk in harmony with these principles. This is where our tragedy is. Many people just stumble into existence proud, loud and blind to this divine intelligence. Even sometimes when we find these principles, we end up arguing with it, debating with it, and we are not even ready to obey until life itself now instructs us through the consequences of our action. Many people, by disobeying these principles, their life has dissolved into defeat and decay, while nature, although bruised by our hand, but because it obeys these instructions, continue to flourish in silent glory. Nature is the visible handwriting of the invisible wisdom of God. If you want to be wise, don't just look at nature, look through it. Study science, because science is God's poetry of wisdom on earth. He encoded the principle of success and weaved them into nature. That is what we are studying as science. Science is parable, science is metaphor. When you can decode it, you will unlock an ancient algorithm by which reality rearranges itself for those who understand it. By the time you see what I'm about to reveal to you and walk in it, your destiny will no longer hide behind uncertainty and will begin to pay obeisance to your understanding. Life stops being a gamble when you begin to understand its grammar. Now, let me review one of these principles to you as we review it by science. There is a quiet miracle in science that is called enzyme. Please don't think you already know what I want to say. You may know the science, but let me show you the wisdom. And for the sake of those who don't know the science, let me grow it upon your understanding first, and then we go to the wisdom. I think that's fair enough. What is enzyme? Enzymes are biological catalysts. They fast track the rate of transformation of molecules. Here's what I mean. Two invisible gases, hydrogen and oxygen, they join hands together to form water, and that's what we call H2O. Hydrogen is the H and oxygen is the O. So gases become liquid, the intangible becomes tangible. That right there is what transformation is, turning something to what it can become. Do you understand? Now, that's not the miracle. The miracle is that if that reaction is left alone, it will take 12 long years for one drop of water to be formed without initiation or the involvement of an enzyme. 12 years. Yet in our body, with the touch of an enzyme, the same transformation happens in milliseconds. I'm telling you, enzymes literally turn years into moments. That's the miracle. Without enzymes, the reactions of life will crawl at the pace of a wounded snake. Enzymes are servants of speed. They compress eternity into an instant. But there is something very interesting about enzymes. They are no reckless transformers. They don't transform anything anyhow. They all obey a principle called the principle of specificity. Now, what does that mean? It means the molecule that an enzyme can transform must have a shape that is complementary to the active site of the enzyme. Now, the thing is, chemicals have invisible geometry. It's like an ID card to them, but in the language of structure. Enzymes too, they have a part of them that is called active site. This active site can recognize the shapes of those molecules. Enzymes enzyme can only embrace a molecule whose shape mirrors the active site of the enzyme. Do you understand? Now, for instance, if the shape of the active site of the enzyme is triangle, the enzyme can only bind with a molecule that has a shape of inverted triangle. Do you understand? So that they can kill. Now, the other molecules that don't have that shape, no matter how ambitious they may be, they cannot connect with that enzyme. Why? Because they don't have the shape that can bind with the enzyme. Do you understand? So even in the invisible world of biochemistry, intimacy has a condition. It is almost romantic, isn't it? It's like a molecular love story written in geometry. Only those that complement each other can connect, and only those that connect can change. Even chemistry practice discernment. Stay with me because this is still pure biochemistry. We are yet to get to the wisdom in it. Before this whole lesson begin to glow with living, there is one more concept that you need to understand. It is called biochemical pathway. Don't let that word intimidate you. The concept is very simple. For you to understand this very well, let me give you the context first. When you eat, let's say you eat eba, fufu, bread, or whatever you eat, your body will digest the carbohydrate part of the food to become glucose. Many people think glucose is the energy that the body uses. That's not true. Glucose is like a check that can be used to get the cash. The real energy currency of the body is called adenosine triphosphate. Now let's call it ATP so that the name will not discourage you. So ATP, right? Yeah. ATP is the energy, but glucose is the raw material that is used to get the energy. So let's take your brain for instance. As proud as the brain is, as electric as it is, it cannot produce one single thought with glucose. No, it must first of all transform the glucose into ATP before it can use it to generate thought. So what was once a sweetness in your mouth has now been transformed into something that burns in your brain as understanding. ATP is the coin that pays for every movement we make, every blink, every heartbeat, every moment of being alive. ATP is paying for it. Now, the real wisdom here lies in that transformation process that converts glucose to ATP. That process is called a biochemical pathway. Now, I don't want you to forget everything you've learned about enzyme because the whole thing will begin to make sense now. Let me show you what a biochemical pathway looks like. This is what it looks like. Now, I know that at first glance, this looks discouraging because you're just seeing arrows and molecules and everything, and all of this seems to mock your understanding. Don't worry, I'll break it down. Now, let me show you a simplified version of it. Let's use glycolysis. Glucose, it journeys downward step by step like a pilgrim moving through sacred stations, and those stations are enzymes, working on it and transforming it until at last it gives birth to energy, ATP, that bright coin of life's economy. Now, let me show everything in shapes so that you can understand what is really happening. So this molecule becomes that molecule, and the transformer, what brings about that transformation is this enzyme. So this one is being transformed to that molecule by this enzyme. This other one is being transformed to that one by this enzyme. Do you understand now? The enzymes are the agency of each of the transformation process. They fast track it. If one of the steps here is kicked, the future enzymes will not be able to connect with that molecule because the preceding enzyme is what will turn it to a shape that the next enzymes can recognize. Do you understand that? So it means that if this one refuses to be transformed by this enzyme, this other enzyme cannot bind it, because in life, as it is in chemistry, you cannot be accepted by your future if you refuse to be processed by your present. That's wisdom. Now, like Jesus, my master, let me begin to explain what my parable means. You know that I told you earlier that the laws of science, they are the divine dialect of wisdom. Let's unpack it. You see this molecule here, that's it. And this other one, this radiant one at the end of the pathway, that's the radiant version of you. The you that is wealthy, not just in dollars, but also in ideas, in wisdom, and in mastery. The you that stands at the peak of your craft, where your name becomes the language of excellence. The you that is dripping in influence. The you that wakes up in Lagos and eats breakfast in Paris. Come on. The you that is so good that even destiny paused to applaud you. Yes, that is the golden you, and it's attainable. But you can only become this version of you when you have been transformed by a golden enzyme, which is this enzyme here. These enzymes are men. They are men that when they appear in your life, it looks as if heaven has rearranges its schedule for your sake. They are the pharaoh that meet a prisoner, and that same day, that prisoner becomes a prime minister. One conversation with them, one handshake with them, and they lift you so high that you can touch the sky with both hands. When you meet them, it is as though your future has bent over backward to escort you forward. They are the living equations of favor, variables that multiply your results without changing your effort. Without them, you can never become the golden version of yourself, because they are the gold that when added to you, immediately your life becomes golden. They connect you to thrones. They connect you to realms that once existed only in your imagination. These are not ordinary people. They are divine intervention clothed in human form, extensions of God's own hand, stretched forth into time to lift you out of obscurity. They are not saints to pity you, but to propel you into purpose. Through them, heaven compresses decades into days and translates promises into manifestation. They don't change your story slowly. No, they rewrite it overnight, one night. They are called golden enzymes. I know you want them in your life. Me too, I want them in my life. But this is the heartbreak. You remember what I told you about enzymes? That they can only bind to molecules whose shape fits their own shape. Law of specificity. You still remember? Now look at you. You are this triangle here now. And you desire to bind with your golden enzyme, which is your gateway to greatness. Now you are here. Most likely you are proud, you are arrogant, plagued with unguarded addiction to distraction. You are crying for the touch of your golden enzyme, but your shape cannot bind with it. You say you will rise, but you are lying down. You dream of excellence, yet everything around you is speaking of negligence. You scroll more than you study. You consume more than you create. You blame more than you build. You are knocking on the clean gate of destiny while your hands are stained with excuses and you expect the gate to open. You promise to be disciplined in the morning and break the promise even before that money ends. You want to be lifted, yet your character carries the weight of stone. You want influence, but your diligence is your life support. You have ready-made talented excuses to give to anything that is not working in your life. You are quick to burn bridges because you can't take nonsense from anybody. You say you will do great things and then you do not. You are terrified of failure, so you hide in comfort and you call it peace. You call procrastination, I'm still thinking about it. You call fear, I'm still waiting on God. You call negligence, I will do it later. You are gifted, but your unrefined gift is a well-dressed failure. You want the world to notice you, yet you have not noticed your own decay. You are losing shape every day, and yet you call it freedom. If any of what I've said describes you, then you are this triangle here, and you desire to connect with your golden enzyme, but you can't bind with it. Your shape does not match. Your job is not to look for golden enzymes. It is God that will bring them to your life, but your job is to look for these other enzymes for your transformation. They will not come and meet you. These other enzymes, you are the one that will go and look for them. See, hope is not lost. Hope is only waiting to be rediscovered by you. Even if you have been triangle all your life, you can still look for these enzymes and transit through them and allow them to transform you into a shape that your golden enzyme can lock hands with. Now, this is my job. My job is to walk you through what these enzymes are and how to find them. You see, these enzymes here, they are not glamorous, but they are sacred. They do not make you famous, but they make you ready. They dissolve the pride, the laziness, the fear, the self-deceit, and in their invisible work, they begin to polish your inner structure until it begins to remember its original design. Every time you stay within these enzymes, something in you moves towards symmetry. See, let me tell you, do not despise your unfinishedness, because you can still transit, you can still grow. Every yes you say to these enzymes becomes a spark that travels through your being until the geometry of your life begins to glow with divine precision. The clay may envy the statue, but it should remember that the statue was a clay that allowed itself to bleed under the chisel of the sculptor. So you, dear clay, you too can become a statue, but don't graduate yourself prematurely from under the chisel of the sculptor. Let the sculptor bleed pride out of you. Let the sculptor bleed laziness out of you. Let the sculptor bleed mediocrity out of your marrow. Every edge, every corner, every contour is being prepared for alignment. Then you rise tall as an edifice of wonder and amazement. Once an ordinary clay, but now an architecture of astonishment, the golden version of you. It is attainable, I'm telling you. How swift can this change happen to you? It happens as quick as your passion can burn, as quick as your surrender can learn. So be ready. Let me introduce you to these not golden but precious enzymes. I have grouped this enzyme into 5 sacred families. Now, from this moment onward, I want you to lend me not only your ears, but your inner stillness. I'm telling you, pay a rapt attention to what I'm about to show you. Everything you've heard me say from the beginning of this message was a drum roll to this revelation. This is the heart of my message to you today. Now, the first group of enzymes that must begin their sacred labor within you are those enzymes that helps to birth in you what I call the winner's mentality. Don't roll your eyes and believe that this is some motivational cliche. This is deeper than you think. See, let me tell you the honest truth. Many of us were born with loser's mentality, and our upbringing has upgraded this mentality into a stronghold in our mind. We were born within the geography of limitation, and because that was all that we knew, with loyalty, we walk within the confines of this limitation. Many of us have left that small environment, but the environment has already replicated itself within us before we left. So we thought we have left, but the environment has not left us. The truth is, the human mind, as long as it is not challenged, it remains a magnificent prison. Every bar in that prison is a belief that you hold on to jealously and you have no question. Have you ever wondered that although you are saying, I will be great, both you and I knows that whenever you say it, you don't truly believe it? See, you cannot fake this thing. No matter where you come from, if you have not actively worked on yourself to have a winner's mentality, you do not have it. As simple as that. Nobody was born with it. A winner's mentality does not come with education. Believe me, it is not part of what they taught you in school, and it does not come with age. The longer you stay having a loser's mentality, the more difficult it is for you to peel it off. See, the only way to have a winner's mentality is to intravenously inject yourself with it. A winner's mentality is not a wish. It is a way you see life. life. It is when you know you will be great. Not that they told you, not something you are chanting, you are convinced that your current level and your current situation is an hotel and you are checking out of it very soon. It is that stubborn instinct that says there must be more, even when everything around you is saying there is no more. This is the honest truth. Let me just say it now. If you have not become great in your mind, you will not have the energy to pursue greatness physically. The energy to pursue greatness in full throttle does not come from caffeine. It does not come from energy drink. It comes from conviction. It is when you have locked it down in your mind that this is not my place. You cannot move your hands towards a destiny that your mind has not first accepted as possible. If you are not sure whether you have a winner's mentality or not, then you don't have it. If you are still doubting it, then it's not there. See, it's a conviction. It's not an opinion. It's not that you are preaching to yourself that you can be great. It is that you have become great already in your mind. If you are always tired, it is not because life is heavy. It is because your mind lacks energy. Little doubt here and there, low self-esteem, fear of failure, unguarded craving for pleasure. These are the garbage that weigh losers down. Losers are exhausted, not from work, but from wastage. They worry about everything and they never rise to change anything that is not working in their life. You see, whenever they say, I can't, maybe, what if... maybe I will do it later. With these words, they leak energy out of their life. But when you think like a winner, even your fatigue will become your fuel. My God, that surge of energy within you. You rise up earlier, you stand longer, you fight longer. Do you know why? Because mental victory gives birth to physical stamina. A winner's mentality makes mediocrity feels like poison. You cannot swallow average anymore. It burns your tongue. It becomes distasteful immediately. All of a sudden, you become allergic to smallness. You become irritated by excuses. And because you know that the only way to birth the greatness in your mind is being excellent, you begin to crave excellence the way your lungs crave oxygen. Come on, let your mind evolve until it can no longer fit inside mediocrity. And when that happens, your life will follow it. If you win in your mind, you will win in life. If you lose in your mind, there is no miracle that can save you. Let me give you my recommendations on materials that are enzymes that will help you adopt winner's mentality. Get Reverend Sam Adeyemi's message on mindset. They are scattered on YouTube. You can get it. They are very important. They will help you. Also, get Apostle Joshua Selman's messages on mindset. They are very powerful messages that will help you to adopt winner's mentality. Don't trivialize this thing I'm saying. Get the videos and self-medicate with them. Now, you can also get the book Mindset, the New Psychology of Success. Get that book and read it thoroughly. You can also get the book Grit, the Power of Passion and Perseverance. Believe me, these are not just materials. They are mental laboratories. They will renew your mind.